Hey, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Culture and Chaos podcast, where politics meets the people's culture and the facts meet the fun. I'm your host, Jessica Simone.
And I am Santana. Let's break down this week's headlines as we debunk myths, dive into the chaos that shapes our world. Jess, what up, Jess?
Hey, Santana, another week. How you feeling?
Listen, I am wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Jess, I can never get over our intro. Like the beat is fire.
As soon as it heard,
And
I'm like,
right, like it is a yeah. It's a tone shifter. It's something that just like every single time it slaps. It slaps, Jess. It's one of those. Listen, I hope everyone enjoys it as much as we enjoy it.
Yes. Also, too, we would just want to thank everybody for all of the love, all the support. We appreciate the comments, the feedback. And with that being said, let's go ahead and read our comments of the week. And
Yes.
that would be from Chris.
Chris Lego.
Go, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris says that's coming from two marginalized communities. It makes me irrationally angry to know that the administration has such a lack of empathy for the American people as a whole, including those impacted by Hurricane Helene. It just makes me sick, and 2028 can't come soon enough. Okay? I'm with you on that. What up, Santana, and what up, Jess? How you doing, Chris? Thank you so much for the feedback, all the comments and engagement. We love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to my guy Chris. Chris knows how much I love him, but like just that's absolutely right. And I think that he spoke to what a lot of people feel, right? I mean, the simple fact of the matter is they don't give a damn about us. They don't really care about us.
Okay.
But hold on, let me call something out real quick, Jess, because I was having a conversation yesterday, right? And I was speaking to a former politician. He does TikTok now and all of this other stuff. And so Chris said 2028 can't come soon enough. And so the politician, he was like, what are people doing? Are they looking past 2026 and looking at 2028 and all this other stuff? And I said no. Right. I said that, at least for myself, Jess, I know not only am I not talking about 2028 and I'm not talking about 2026, I've been talking about the special elections and all this other stuff. But just like we got to keep them honest. Right.
Yeah.
Like we got to keep them honest. There's no way that we can be talking about 2028 yet. We got work to do.
Yeah, we got a whole lot of work to do because the stuff that's going on, there's no reason that we should have to be going to 2028. Any other president they'd be calling for impeachment at this point.
Yep. No, Jess. I mean, like it's absolutely insane. I just had to call that out because we got to keep our guards up and we can't just say, well, we're going to sit on our hands and wait until 2028 because we got to take care of some business.
Okay, because living in Trump's America, each week it seems to get more and more chaotic. And I know you don't know anything about this. I'm probably springing it on you, but you just posted about them arresting a judge. And I just think that is huge. I haven't even time looking at it, but I know and you posting that information. I'm like, give me those screenshots you have as well so I can post it, to my audience. Because you're right. That's something that should be out. This is uncalled for. That can be dangerous.
Yeah, no, listen, I just got a message like, oh, I'm gonna duet your TikTok. And I said, first and foremost, no, you're not. Right. But no, so it's a Wisconsin judge, and they actually arrested her, basically saying that she was obstructing justice. Jess, I mean, like,
just crazy.
Yeah, like they were trying to. The whole thing is they were saying like, oh, she actually basically gave him the runaround, gave him misdirection. It was like, which way did he go?
He went that way.
Said, yeah, and he actually, yeah. But no, just like it's a slippery slope. It's super dangerous, and it's something that the Trump administration is trying to do, and it's a dangerous precedent. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm like, you want these alleged undocumented or by their words illegal. People are not illegal immigrants so bad that you would start attacking the judges. And I'm like, you can't even deport right. Everybody you send over, you got to end up bringing them back anyway.
Yep. Yep.
Didn't he do somebody else?
Yep. They absolutely did. And so I guess, we're gonna get into we're gonna get into it, right? Let's jump right
Mm-hmm.
into it, because the actual first person that, well, we know about the Garcia case, right?
Yeah.
But there's also another person who has been deported to El Salvador, which his name is Christian.
Hmm.
That's all we know. Just like we don't know his last name. We don't know
Which is
his
good.
height. Yeah, like yes,
Because they've been doxing they've been doxing people's information.
yes. Yeah, I know you're talking about his wife. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it.
Yo, it was it Homeland Security posted his court documents with their address, with their information, first and last name. So now the family has to go into hiding because our Homeland Security has leaked security
Yep.
on
Yep.
X.
Yep. And just
No,
it's
on Twitter.
yeah, on
But
Twitter. Your mama call it Twitter. I'm gonna call it
I'm gonna
Twitter.
call him Twitter.
Yeah, just like it speaks to like you remember when Doge was doing like their thing, and they ended up like leaking some of our spies information,
Mm-hmm.
like putting it out. Like, this administration is so incompetent, Jess. Like, they can't even do the bad stuff right. Right, I mean, like, like, what are we doing, Jess? And then for you to actually dox Albergo Garcia's wife information,
U.S.
where you have,
citizen.
yes, where you have
U.S.
to actually
citizen.
put her in basically protective custody. Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? What is happening, y'all? This is what happened when you're not qualified for the job. Okay.
This is
Okay.
what happens when you don't go with DEI, Jess.
That part. Because ever since we didn't roll back DEI, we didn't roll back common sense, we didn't roll back security, we didn't roll back nothing makes sense anymore.
No,
Everybody's life is in danger. Eggs done went up.
God, goddamn planes falling out the sky.
Like
You
what?
know, it's
I,
like water isn't even safe. Jess, you can't even drink tap water anymore.
oh yeah, you better stay out of that tap water. Ever since Flint, Michigan, I'm like, I don't play with them.
But like, even they rolled back the initiative, the Clean Water Act, right?
Mm-hmm.
And said basically it's all right to have a little feces in your water, just a little bit of
That's so
feces in
fucking
your water.
disgusting. But it's all about money. If you got feces in the water, you're less likely to drink tap water. You're more likely to buy bottled water.
I don't know, Jess. I know, Jess. You from the country,
Yeah, I'm a
Jess.
country girl.
You grew up drinking out of water holes, right?
Sure did.
Listen, Jess. I used to drink out the water hole. That was some elite that.
Elite water.
And
When
no,
you
no,
running around all day.
top two, right? Top two water is the actual water hose water in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But then also the actual the water from the water fountain in school,
Mm-hmm.
when you actually have just came back from recess.
Yeah.
Like, those are top
Yeah. Oh my.
two.
You so tired. You run like, and you be standing in line like, get off the way. I want some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
True, 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 true.
absolutely.
You better not drink out that water hose today.
No, no, Jess, it is, you cannot get away with that. So, but with that being said, yeah, like, the actual deportation, it's insane, right? Because we know for a fact that they're rushing through things, right,
Mm-hmm.
Jess? They're
Yeah.
rushing through, and they're trying to get these things done
Just take your
without take.
time. Just take your time. So, you know, it's like when you about to have sex with that one guy and you don't want to do the foreplay. You just want to just jab it in. It just never goes right. You know what I'm
No,
saying? It's just
no,
nobody's
no,
happy about that.
no,
Nobody's
no.
happy
You
about
gotta
that.
slow it
Take
down,
your
slow it
time.
down. Do it right. Do it right.
Yes,
What did they say? Measure three times, cut once.
that
Right?
part.
And
They're not
this
even measuring.
administration, no, they're just like, fuck it. That look like I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna eyeball
Mhm.
all alone, having cataracts, right? One eye cocked, and they haven't worn their
Drunk.
glasses, and yeah, like, what are we talking about? That's the way that this administration is eyeballing it.
So with like them these different flavors of deportation. And sending their people there, got to bring them back. And now, we're getting into U.S. citizen doxing our information. And, they obviously targeting a certain demographic. Like, should other marginalized communities be worried? Like, should, we be worried? Like, could we be next?
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important. Um, what is that poem where it says, is it when they come for me?
First they came for, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's important that we stick together because you're going to be next. You're not special. You're just next.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um and the thing that I always say about that is that people don't get it, right? And they
Mhm.
think that it can't be them. And the
Mhm.
poem goes, first they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not socialist.
Mhm.
Then they came for the unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist.
Mhm.
Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
Mhm.
Just this is the point that I try to make, and this is why I have like such a hard time dealing with Blaga, and
Mhm.
then also dealing with um, white people who say that they have the best intentions,
Mhm.
right? Um, or just anybody, just because like I had this conversation yesterday, and there was a whole smear campaign, and the Trump administration spent $290 million to victimize transgender people,
Mhm.
right? And then to make
Mhm.
people believe that they're the boogeyman. And we know that Hitler did the same thing,
Yep.
right? And
It's straight
Hitler,
out the playbook.
listen, bar for bar,
Like,
Trump
yeah.
stole his whole flow.
Yes. It's
But
plagiarism.
yeah, but just like this is the move, and once they can actually turn us against transgender people, then they're going to try to turn us against immigrants, and then they're going to try
Mhm.
to turn us against black people, and then they're going to
Mhm.
try to turn you against the
Mhm.
poor whites, and like
Mhm.
it's going to be a whole thing, Jess.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to speak up. You got to stand for something. And I know it gets uncomfortable because, we're having to hold each other accountable and we're all growing and there's growing pains, but we got this. And a lot of people trying to hold on to their privilege, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, scared. Go ahead.
No, I was go ahead. I was about to say, speaking of privilege, right? Speaking of privilege, um, just white South Africans.
You're so busy worried about deporting everybody. It's America first. But yet you're already ready to take in more refugees, but only if they're white South Africans.
Mm,
Okay?
mm.
He's been inviting them in. Like, he put a whole tweet. Oh, I don't even gonna call this shit truth because it's fucking a lie on Lie Social. He put up something about, like, you guys can come in if you are, they took your farmland and if you're from these descendants or whatnot. So you're gonna open the door for white people from South Africa only.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
while you're saying we have too many immigrants and you don't want people to come here seeking refuge and coming into our country. You can't have them both.
Mm.
And if the blatant racism is not there, I don't know what you want him to come out and say, nigga? What you want him to come and say, I hate, whatever? Like, what do you want him to do?
Just like the simple fact of the matter is the fact that they are so loud and proud about mass deportation and getting people out of the country,
Mhm.
but then welcoming white South Africans,
Mhm.
and let's not pussyfoot around it. Just
Yeah.
white South Africans have benefited from apartheid, and they have coalesced all the money, right? I mean, that's why in South Africa they're taking back the land,
Mhm.
because all of this land was stolen and then like monopolized.
Yep.
And so now they're trying to say, oh, they're oppressed, they're victims, they're this, they're that, and they're not. They're not. They're not.
Boy, them
Get
certain
the
people, they want to be oppressed.
stepping.
Yeah, okay.
Get them up out the paint, Jess. Um,
What are you
but
talking
yeah,
about?
oh yeah, no, and just like the whole thing is, you know, it's we understand that he's signing these executive orders, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump doesn't want to actually work with Congress. He doesn't want to actually govern. He just
Mm-hmm.
wants to use the power of the pen
Mm-hmm.
and try to force things to happen. And there's no way that these EOs are going to stand up. That's not how
Yeah.
the government is built to work.
That's not what he thinks. I remember he told that lady, I said it. It's law. So if I said it, it is. I'll see you in court. Yeah, you used to being in court. Let's just not even forget that. But
Yeah.
and then I was thinking, too, with the I think it was Brazil where they would offer whites to come in and have I think babies either with black people to try to wash out the race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Continue to wash out the race. Make more
Mm-hmm.
mixed children have,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I'm like, you're getting rid of black and brown people, pulling
Mm-hmm.
away their TPS status,
Mm-hmm.
and sending them over to El Salvador, places they're not even supposed to be, because Christian not even supposed to be in El Salvador. He's from
Yep.
Venezuela. Take it. It has to be scary to be a young man. I don't even think he's 25 yet, and you're going to a country you've never been to, a dangerous country, and you were seeking asylum. Like he was legally here, and I'm thinking like you're inviting in more white people. What is the play? What are you
Oh,
trying?
the play. The play is the
Is
play,
giving
Jess.
white nationals
Yeah, listen, Jess.
only whites only.
Exactly. This whites only pie.
Because when they talking about those black jobs, the immigrants are taking your black jobs.
Mm-hmm.
If if people are known that undocumented immigrants are taking lower part of jobs, say if it's in agriculture, say if it's in hospitality, you're used to black people being in the field and serving you.
Yep.
You mean that they're not taking my job? They're not
Yep.
taking my and then you're deporting them, which means you're really telling us go back to the field, go back to serving us. So when I move them out, you move over here, and I move more whites in. Because what
Yeah.
is happening?
Yeah, Jess. I mean, I say this all the time, and whenever we talk about black jobs, and I specifically ask the question like, hey, what jobs are they taking? Right? You
Mm-hmm.
said black jobs. Be
Yeah.
specific. So they're taking the three industries that we know undocumented immigrants prop up the most are the farming industry, the service industry, and also the construction industry.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump is inferring that first and foremost, trying to act like the 92% is not the most educated sector of this country and the highest growing entrepreneur sector in this country. Trying to act like that's not a thing
Come
is
on now.
wild,
Come on
right?
now.
But even more so, just trying to relegate black people to saying that we are quote unquote the backbone of one of those three sectors.
Mm-hmm.
It's really giving that Trump still thinks that black people are sharecroppers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period. That's
Well.
what he thinks. Jess, we're
Mm-hmm.
sharecroppers.
Mm-hmm. Niggas ain't been in the field since '62. Stop playing with
And
us.
niggas in Paris now, Jess.
Okay, stop fucking playing. You better watch the throne.
What?
You
What?
exactly. That's why I'm like, hey, come on now. Period.
Yeah. But just like this is the last thing I'll say about this is like South Africa, they're not with the shits. They're not, right. So the Trump administration is trying to cut off funding
Mm-hmm.
to South Africa, right? And saying like, hey, we're gonna, these. He's always trying to Bigfoot. Trump is trying to Bigfoot his way into something, but you know what? Africa got some stuff that we want,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So if they could, we're like, okay, we're gonna cut off the funding, yeah, and then like we're gonna cut off these
Mm-hmm.
minerals.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna cut off the stuff that you really needed, the
Yeah.
stuff that you don't have, the stuff that you want.
Mm. We get like because I was looking it up, platinum group metals. These include platinum, palladium, rhodium. I hope
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that right, which are
Mm-hmm.
essential for automotive catalytic converters,
Mm-hmm.
electronics, and various industrial applications. We also get gold. We get a
Yep.
significant quantity from South Africa in gold.
Mm-hmm. Listen, that's where I get all
Yeah.
my gold from, not South Africa, East Africa, but that's
Mhm.
where I get all my gold from. Shout out to the wife, shout out to Ethiopia.
Mhm.
Boom. But
Yeah.
no,
Come on
like
now.
seriously, like that's we need those minerals from those countries. And what's like absolutely insane, right? And someone made this point and talking about like Donald Trump and the whole like tariff situation and
Mhm.
the way that he came up with like trade deficits, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that, or not trade deficits, the way that he came on the retaliatory tariffs, he specifically chose trade deficits, right? But
Mhm.
when you talk about like countries in Africa where, let's say they don't really need to buy anything from the US,
Hmm.
but we buy a bunch of diamonds or a
Mhm.
bunch of gold or a bunch of
Mhm.
those actual super rare earth metals, and they can't afford to buy our jets or our service and stuff like that. And so he's punishing those countries because they are selling us those rare metals or rare minerals that we want,
Mhm.
and they're too poor to actually buy the stuff that we actually sell.
Mhm.
It's dumb, Jess.
We don't even want it. It's like I think I refer everything to a relationship. It's like that one guy
Jess, are
that's
you
like,
going through something?
no, I'm actually very
Okay.
happy. I'm
Well,
actually
listen,
very happy.
listen.
But
I was
I've
just about to
lived a
say,
few
Jess.
lives. I've had a lot of friends. I've done a lot of friend therapy. I've seen a lot of stories. Trust me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've seen it all because I'm still living. Okay.
Done it all, done it
Done
all,
it all.
done
I've
it.
done it all. As soon as I think
Mention
that
Bankhead. Sorry, go ahead, Jess.
when my mom, when I would tell her like, I've never seen that before, she just say, just keep on living. So I'm not even gonna
Mm-hmm.
say I've seen it all. All I gotta do is just keep on living. But it's like you're dating that one girl and you're cheating on her, you're disrespecting her, but you living in her house, you
Yep.
drive her car, she pay
Mm,
all the bills. She don't need
mm,
like and anytime I
mm.
just be like, get out.
Yep. Yep. You know what that's called, Jess? That's called being a homosexual. Right. Right. They're not in it for the relationship. They need a place to live. Right. They're
Oh,
not oof. Mm.
I always say, don't nobody fall in love quicker than a nigga that needs somewhere to stay.
Jess.
Mm. Day two.
Or or
I think I'm in love.
or
Mm-hmm.
a broke dude around tax time.
Oh,
Because when taxes about to hit, everybody
oh
started looking
Lord.
fine, Jess. Everybody started looking fine.
And you know what's that one saying that they all say? Let me flip it. Gotta get your groove on, baby. That's where they be grooving all over to that one single lady. Single
Mm-hmm.
ladies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what's up? Damn, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, and they always be like, let me flip it. Let me flip your taxes.
If you don't stop trying to flip your baby mama taxes, no, Tyrone. No.
No.
No. You do not know. No.
No.
Just no.
Damn. No. We gotta start utilizing no more.
Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Absolutely. But just so like we get it, right? I mean, we talked about flipping, and everybody wants to come up. Everybody wants to come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially around tax time, everybody wants to come up. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that are about to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that used to be a good thing that you can claim on your taxes, but
Mm-hmm.
now you can't really claim it on your taxes. And not only are they not able to claim it on your taxes, but about to take it up out your check.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, they're flipping the switch for student loans again. They're turning student loans back on.
Oh, damn, damn, damn.
Oh my God!
Oh my goodness,
Just
that's my favorite. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh my
just
goodness.
first and foremost, just fuck them student loans.
Yeah.
Um,
Those two loans from so long ago. Mm-mm.
like
Mm-mm.
listen, first and foremost, stop bringing up old shit, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about money that I owe from the past or whatever? Ain't
Because when we bring
nobody
up
got time
E.G.
for
and
that.
Carol, when we bring up E.G. and Carol, they be like, that was 20 years ago. That's old
Yeah,
shit. It's
yeah,
my motherfucking student loans from 10 years ago. Okay.
yeah.
Let it
No,
go.
just
You want
this
me
is
to let
gonna
it go? You let it go.
yeah. Just this is going to be something that's going to be a massive burden on so much of America, right?
Mhm.
Um, it's going to be something because we understand first and foremost, like student loan companies are it, I want to call it a Ponzi scheme, but at the very least, they're predatory, right?
Mhm.
And this Trump administration has passed or proposed cuts, even with their budget proposals, that will impact those predatory lending techniques and target specifically students, right?
Yeah.
And even more so, students that are from the military that
Which is
receive,
crazy.
yeah, like those actual protections. But
I thought
rolling
we
or
cared about our military. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Go ahead. My bad.
but also it's gonna simply put, right, just when you put tariffs on everything, so you're increasing prices,
Mhm.
when you fire a bunch of people, so you're increasing the unemployment rate,
Mhm.
when you crash the stock market and consumer confidence is down, when you threaten the Fed and they say that, interest rates are going to rise, you do all of that, and then you take people who have, four, five, $600 a month student loan payments and say the money that you've been either saving or using as discretionary spending, you no longer have that anymore
Mm.
because now you need to start paying student loans again. Just when you combine all of that, there's nothing more that can be said than he's going to crash the economy.
Yeah.
Like all
It's
of
like, whose
this is
team
a
are you
crash.
on?
Exactly.
When you playing football and you're like, are you throwing the game? I
Yeah.
feel like Putin is over there like, did you ever think OVO was working for me? I'm like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
bruh.
Yeah. And every time, Jess, it's like some more fucked up shit. It's more like, all right, now this time fire a bunch of people. All right, cool, cool, cool. You fired them. All right, cool. Now what I need you to do is I need you to go ahead and crash the stock market. Oh, you got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah. Now tell them they're gonna pay all the student loans back. We want
Mhm.
every penny. Next thing they're gonna be like, yeah, yeah. Now tell everybody they can't have puppies no more. We're gonna take away all their pets.
No
Like
more
what are we
dogs.
doing, Jess?
This shit is crazy. Another week in Trump's America.
Mm,
Fuck.
yeah.
I don't know if it's like you can't get enough. Um, are you still trying to make for your billionaires? Are you still trying to make cuts for your billionaires? Trying to get money for them? Like, what about? Nothing makes sense. I wonder what's going on in his brain, the very smooth brain.
Mhm.
Like, what part of this makes you feel like it works?
Well, Jess, and so like this is what you said, right? You spoke on the fact that um like, oh, is it the billionaires or is he doing it for like his people or whatever? Did you see that they just had the meeting with like the heads of Lowe's, Home Depot, and I think one other company.
Walmart.
Was it Walmart?
Somebody said Walmart.
It might have been. But had he ended up sitting down and having a meeting with all of those CEOs, and they was like, bro, you effing stuff up. It
Mm-hmm.
is they said that literally that things are going to be off the shelf
Mm-hmm.
by this summer because of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
When the billionaires start to come to you and say like, hey, you effing up the church's money,
Yeah.
and then like the normal people, just when you have the super wealthy and the super poor agreeing on something,
Something ain't right. Something is afoot. It must be the
something
truth.
is a
It
something is
must be the
afoot.
truth.
Yeah, yeah, no. So like I think that right, you talk about the possibility of him doing this for a specific purpose or
Mhm.
specifically to target things that are beneficial to the ultra wealthy. It doesn't even seem like that anymore, Jess. It
Yeah.
just seems like he doesn't have a plan. He doesn't know what he's doing.
There's no
He's
clue.
no he's emotional,
Mhm.
and like he
Mm.
wants power but he doesn't know how to will power. It's a
Mhm.
whole thing.
Mhm. And I was thinking like another thing about with the student loans and all of the other factors that he have, if like there's about like 40% of the borrowers who do have student loans are over 65. They
Mm-hmm.
like on their retirement, they're not going to be able to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
And then even people who if you start garnishing wages, then it's going to start people are going to be behind on other payments. People credit scores are going to start going down. Then they won't qualify for loans, and it won't move. The economy won't move. Money will come to a halt, just like his casinos, just like his
Mm-hmm.
businesses. I
Mm-hmm.
like. I really don't get why people thought this was going to be a good idea.
Yeah, no, just what I think it is, right, is that Donald Trump is a snake oil salesman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
They used
And
to buy companies and tear them down and sell like something. I did a lot of research on Donald Trump, especially before the election. And you can go to Trump.org, I think it is,
mm-hmm.
TrumpFile.org, and they have
Mm-hmm.
all the stories and the receipts there.
Yeah. I think what it is that, it's the old saying of like when a dog chases the car, right? And then they finally chases the car and it doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
With not only with Donald Trump, but right, these the people that support him, they scream that they want power and they scream
Mm-hmm.
that they want control and they scream that like we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. And now they have it all, right? They have
Mm-hmm.
the House, they have the Senate, they have the presidency, they have the Supreme Court, kind of.
Mm.
And now they have no idea what to do because they can't govern.
Yes,
The
incompetent.
Republican Party can't govern.
They don't want to do the hard work.
No.
They just want the power. I feel like they all come from this certain background that you just felt traumatized as a kid. You weren't seen. You didn't get enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to just skip the line and just bully people.
Mm-hmm. Jess, I heard someone talk about this morning, and I completely agree. It's for certain people that support Donald Trump and the Trump administration.
Mhm.
Um, they are professional victims, right? They're
Oh.
victims just because every day of their lives for like the last 8-9 years, they're like, well, they stole the election. It's Biden's fault. Obama put us in this situation. They did this. They did that. It's on them. Da 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 da. And now they have power, right? I
Mhm.
mean, they got close to it, and they were still like blaming. They're blaming DEI. They're blaming
Mhm.
CRT. They're blaming
Everything.
BLM, right? And so
Look in the mirror.
now, exactly. But just now, they have all the power, and they're going to continue to manufacture someone to blame,
Mhm.
right? Because for someone that's in Alabama, right? Billy Bob in Alabama, who makes
Mhm.
$2.57 an hour, who has lived in the same town and lived in the same one bathroom, half a house
Yep.
all of his life. It's so much easier for Billy Bob to say the reason why I am not successful, the reason why I don't have one of those good paying tech jobs that Elon Musk was offering
Mhm.
is because wokeness,
Mhm.
because those libs won't let me do it, and if it
Mhm.
wasn't for the libs, then my life would be better.
You'd
and
still be in
and
that house.
yeah,
House.
but then Donald Trump and those other Republican people that they vote for, and the reason why they continue to vote for him is because they come around and they say, hey, you're right, it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you didn't pay attention in school. It's not your fault that you didn't learn money management. It's not your fault that you have made every wrong decision at every opportunity. It's someone else's fault.
Mhm. I'm gonna
You're
show
the
you who
victim.
it is,
Yep.
and I'm gonna help you.
Yep. And just with that being said, that's they will continue to vote for those people because those people make them feel good. Those people make them feel validated. Those people say that your shortcomings are not your shortcomings. Your shortcomings are someone else's shortcomings, and that's a problem.
Yep. Voting with your feelings and not the facts. You don't even
Yep.
they don't even ask questions. How are you gonna do that? Because they don't know to ask questions. Poor babies.
Yep. Yep.
He even said he called it in I think it's 2014. I should have brought this clip, but I don't think I have it. Maybe in my Discord. But in 2014, he called into Fox News and was like, "The only way to make America great again is to have riots on the street."
No,
Why
you
do
didn't.
you? Yes, I can find it in my Discord. And maybe when we start at the top, I'll have it for you guys. He said he called into Fox News. He's on the audio. If you go to trumpfile.org, it's in one of those files. He called in and said the only way to make America great again is to have riots in the streets. And I don't know where this logic is coming from because he also
You know
did
what?
what?
He might be right. He might be
Right.
right, Jess. The only way that we might be able to take our country back is by showing up and showing out.
Mhm.
And that people have been protesting, Jess. People have been doing like the hands off marches, and people are boycotting companies and
Mhm.
all of this other stuff. Jess, the only way that we may be able to take our country back and get things in the right direction is that we have to stand up and do things that we've never done before. And the thing about that is, I don't think the country is necessarily built for that, right? I don't think that we have the mentality or the strength to do things like I was watching in France, right? In France, or even South Korea, right? We know that they just did they just put their what is it, not prime minister, president, or whatever, they just put him in jail,
Mhm.
right? Like, because he attempted a coup. But other countries have fought
Mhm.
for their freedoms and had to actually fight for so long, and over and over and over, and they've seen fascism and they've seen dictators, and they've had to actually earn it. And the United States for the last almost 250 years have been comfortable,
Mhm.
and we don't know what that fight looks like, and that's why I don't know if we're built for that.
Mhm. Do you think it'd be who do you see out there fighting? Because I know the last time like our family members, our ancestors, our elders were out there fighting so they could get change. And I get, being tired. Do you see white people out there fighting for their rights this time? Because
Hmm.
they've been protesting, but all of a sudden the one lady was like, "We need to bring a bounce house out here." What? Are we losing the plot? We're out here protesting. This could be very dangerous. Why would you want to bring the kids in a bounce house out here? That's not safe.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you even see that happening?
Yeah, I'll say this, Jess. There's a lot of back and forth about whether one, white people
Mhm.
should be leading anything, but also two,
Mhm.
um, will they let down black
Mhm.
people, people of color, things like that? Because we do understand that, like, prior to the election, there were a lot of white people
Mhm.
specifically who said we can't have Trump. We stand with Kamala Harris, and
Mhm.
then white men specifically went out and voted for Donald Trump at the highest clip ever, not
Mhm.
just for this presidential election or whatever, but in history, more white men came out and voted for Donald Trump than any candidate in U.S. history, and white women did not at the same level, but they voted for Trump at a high clip,
Mhm.
and
More than
so
50%,
yeah, and
for sure.
so that makes other people say, like, is it a situation where we can trust them to do anything, right?
Mhm.
And so when you talk about, are they going to protest, are they going to actually do the things,
Hmm.
I don't know,
Hmm.
Jess. Do you trust them to do the things?
That's no, I don't. I don't know if I just need to sit back and see or jump because if you keep saving somebody or you keep jumping in, they never learn.
Hmm.
And sometimes people gotta fail to learn. So I guess whatever that may look like, because I feel like, especially at the 92% and falling right behind with 78%, 76 or something, 72 or something like that, just jumping out there so many times. And we're the ones that are unalive, jailed, spat on, and even still today being an afterthought. After all, I feel like the work we put in and the sacrifice that a lot of our elders have laid their lives down for. And I get that they're tired. But if you keep saving somebody, then they don't learn. So it's really a hard line there to kind of like teeter. Just I feel like we're fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Well, just maybe we should try to unfuck America.
Hey, I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I
I did a
see
thing.
what you did
I
there.
did a thing. I did a thing. I
Hey,
did a thing. I
I like
did.
the
I
thing you
did.
did.
I did two things. Just yeah. Listen, I recently participated in the Unfuck America tour. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Mhm,
Jess. Thank you. Listen,
mhm.
let me go ahead and let me set the stage. Let me kind of say where we are, right, and set the tone as far as what Unfuck America is for anyone who's listening or watching and have not been, up to date on what Unfuck America is. Basically, Unfuck America is a counter action to Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA effort to indoctrinate our youth, right?
Mhm,
We understand that they are red pilling the youth at a an amazing clip and specifically targeting young white men, but they are going around to these different college campuses, and Charlie Kirk is going around to these different college campuses under the premise of free speech and open challenge debates, right?
mhm,
He's saying that, hey, I'm going to come to your college campus and you can come and quote unquote prove me wrong. Like literally,
mhm,
that's what it has. It's set up, Jess, and it says prove me wrong. Like that's the premise behind what Charlie Kirk is trying to get people to do. And you have the ability to come up, no matter if you attend the school
mhm,
or if you are not. You can come up, you can ask questions, you can debate them, you can challenge them, all this other stuff, and it's an effort to actually spread the quote unquote gospel of the right,
the
right?
propaganda.
So,
Mhm,
myself and about 37 other creators were approached along with my good friends Dean and Parker
mhm,
to who were going to headline this tour. They were going to be the two quote unquote main events, the people at the top of the card, but there was a bunch of other creators that were added as
mhm,
far as going out and battling the misinformation and disinformation. And the idea was to go to this campus at Texas A&M where Charlie Kirk specifically was going to be, and one, call him on his BS to his face, right?
mhm,
Push back on the misinformation and disinformation in his face, and not allow him to continue to lie and actually spread harmful rhetoric, but then also to be able to spread information to those young people who have not gotten that information. So that was the premise of it. It was a 3-day event. It occurred on a Tuesday. It
mhm,
was a massive, massive thing. And I'll stop there because that's what the premise of Unfuck America was.
mhm.
Now, I will give you guys this caveat before I pass it over to my co-host Jessica Simone, and we listen to her thoughts. But there has been a ton of controversy
Mhm.
around the Unfuck America tour. There's
Yeah.
been a lot of questions. There's been so much, and so I think it's important to do like a outside in thing, right? A
Mhm,
tag team thing where Jessica Simone was not involved in the Unfuck America tour, but she was one of the people that was watching what was
mhm,
happening around it and watching how things unfolded and seeing things from an outside view. But I was someone who actually experienced everything from an inside view, and I think it's going to be something special to be able to compare and contrast and actually
mhm,
speak to what it was, what it looked like, how it happened, and what's next. So, Jess, before anything else, let's get to you. I want to hear one, what were your thoughts as far as what did you think about it when you heard about it? Like,
mhm,
what was the build when it came to what you were hearing? And then also, like, how did you perceive the event?
mhm. So, one, I just want to say that I'm glad we're having this conversation because I think it's very important that we can have our own opinions and not, how some people are like, oh, if you don't agree with them, then I can't be your friend, and I don't want to be a yes man, and I don't want yes men around me. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I have to be honest about like how I feel. Erica asked me too, and I definitely gave her my honest opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're hearing about it, the Young Fuck America tour, before you started promoting it, I heard, a little bit about it, and people were calling out that any there wasn't any diversity. And then,
Mhm.
of course, like, what we always hear, oh, throw some niggas on the tab or whatever, put some black
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
on there. And
Mhm.
then you start seeing more black people. I don't know if it was like throw black women. We're missing black women, or,
Mhm.
throw them on the thing as well.
Yep.
And of course, I support all my friends. I would support whatever decision they make, because one thing I know about black people is black people gonna black people, and they gonna figure
You
out
right about
how
that.
to monetize, or not even just monetize, but make the moment work for them. They
Mhm.
threw us pig guts, we made chitlins.
Yep.
So I always I support, my people, period. And
Mhm.
all of my friends. Now it did seem, and then things were coming out about the leader being racist, and then
Mhm.
I didn't see anything. I didn't really deep dive into her much, but then
Mhm.
some black women were having a panel, and
Mhm.
allegedly she went up there and started to tell them why they shouldn't be mad, and like, you
Mhm.
guys don't know how to organize something. And I didn't
Mhm.
necessarily find the video, but I did speak with a few people who were there, and it was like
Mhm.
it was a bunch of microaggressions. She was
Mhm.
telling them that they didn't know anything. So I'm like,
Mhm.
it feels a little bit like we're the afterthought. And black people know how to, what we know how to do is raise some money and spend some money. So we can, we're trendsetters, we're galvanizing. So a lot of people were also thinking like, now we're said that we were either going to sit out. We said that we're tired of getting duped, but now we're back in a position where we're raising money for somebody else's organization if they don't really care about us, or we're
Mhm.
the afterthought, or we have to be pulled out. So, I watched the entire thing happen from the beginning. And, I don't know if it's the woman in me, but it's just something about chasing a alleged heterosexual cis man around, white
Mhm.
man at that. But, the ball was in his court, and I feel like we shouldn't probably give him more credibility than he fucking deserves. You know what I mean? It only makes his peeny head bigger. And then
Mhm.
he knew it, which is why he played games, which is why it didn't start on time. I'm gonna make
Mhm.
them wait. You can't stay around here. And then, everybody was like, we can't do this, we can't have our security, we can't have this. They turned the sprinklers on, like, it fucked up everything, because nothing was solid. And I
Mhm.
just hated to see everybody running around, or either chasing him, or there's a bag of this. Like, it's starting to feel like we need you and we don't.
Mhm. Mhm.
But what it turned into, how the pivot was, and how what it, I definitely love and appreciate, because again, like I said, y'all gonna make it happen. And it turned into, let's just have our own conversation. Debate me, because one thing, especially Magus, if they want more than anything, is their viral moment, is to be
Mhm.
loved. They need the
Mhm.
attention, which is why they're MAGA. They want attention. They wear the hat because they want attention. You
Yep.
know. So we just say, hey, well, I'm a liberal. Debate me, and which is what you guys were doing. And you could see even some people, even clicking for a few people, right? And we also
Mhm.
got to understand that these are college kids, so they're still learning. Their brains are not developed, So it wasn't more so about the big gotcha moment. And the thing that got me the most, and I cried, was Brett. Brett.
Yes.
Because some of
Yes.
the people are
Yes.
losing the plot. They're losing the mission. They're doing it for clicks, views, camaraderie, have friends, to come up. And we're forgetting what the fucking mission is.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Charlie, you're not the mission. The kids are the mission. The people that
Yep.
he's speaking to are the mission, which is very important. And also to see different people coming away, walking away from it, finding their purpose, you
Mhm.
know, falling in love with it. I thought that was beautiful too. So how it turned out to be, even though I know it wasn't the goal, the result was still flourishing. But Brett, when he went up there, because if you guys don't know Brett, yes, I'm promoting Brett at
Shout
this
out
point.
Brett Cross. Listen, that's
Brett
my white
Cross.
brother. I tokenize him all
Yes,
the time. I
yes, yes.
tokenize him all the time because that's my white brother.
Brett Cross, one of his children was a victim who lost their life in the Uvalde school shooting, the one that Trump said we had to get over. And since then, I'm not gonna cry. He's been an advocate, and he went in there when they were talking about gun violence and protecting your Second Amendment and whatnot. and how that is more important than these children's lives. And he gave everybody Pokemon cards with his son picture on it. It was like,
Jess, can I just stop you for like half a second? First of
please
all,
do,
don't cry.
because if I say anything else,
Don't
I'm gonna fucking cry.
exactly. Let me share this, and this is something that will always be with me moving forward. But to your point, look at this.
Ah,
This is a Pokemon card, right? On the front of the Pokemon card is Usaya.
mm-hmm.
That is Brett's son. His son uh, love Pokemon, and he was such a great kid. The card says his ability, right? His HP is 77. He's a lightning type, right? Like Pikachu. The ability protect. As long as this card is in your possession, Uzi Love will protect you. That's why I'm not letting this card go
I would need.
anywhere.
I'm like, I want one.
It's literally just I keep it in my phone case now.
Yeah,
So that
I would
there's
keep it
that.
with me too.
Exactly. And then the helping hand is his plus ability. Uzi wanted to be a cop so that he could help people. By
Wow.
receiving this card, he reaches and helps other people.
Hmm.
That was absolutely special. That was absolutely beautiful, and it's absolutely something that I don't ever want to lose, but two, I never want to let that thought, message, or moment ever pass.
Facts.
But anyway, Jess, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Go.
No, but these motherfuckers are worried about a fucking abortion, a zygote, a cell that you don't see that may not even have the potential to become into a person, and you don't want to protect the children that are already here with
Mhm,
names, with aspirations, with
mhm.
dreams. That you don't even want to protect them. So why the fuck would you be trying to make women bring other children into this bullshit? But
Yep.
I digress.
Yep.
That just kind of took me
Yep.
there a
Mhm,
little bit. But and I think too also too on the left, like I know that my people think you're also like if I do this, jump up and down, and I get that. And I do support like all my people. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And the people that I know. I just want you guys to know that when somebody disagrees with the actual organization or how they did it, it's not us attacking you. It's because we all want if you a real one, you always want better for the people that you fuck with, and you want them in the best position, and you want them to be able to elevate. And but we also have to be able to have our own opinions, critique each other, whether and to be able to talk about it without shunning each other or thinking that it's bad blood. Period. But all in all, I'm happy to those that got the exposure that needed, found their purpose. I love Brett. I feel like he really made people feel in um in that moment. And I think that was very important. And I think it's very important for us to like remember what the mission is. Because we can also still go to schools and talk to them, you know, in our way and galvanize the entire time, and it could be your time, and we can focus on how great you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jess, let me start from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Because one, I'm super happy to actually be able to talk about this with you.
Mhm. Same.
And not only speaking in a position where like I haven't spoken publicly about any of this.
Mhm.
Um I have also haven't really talked to you about this,
Mhm.
right? So just for anyone listening, like this is our first time really going into this because like Jess said, Jess, I love her so much because she's a champion for the people that she care about. And so uh, she's always been the type where she trusts me to do the right thing and she has my back, right? And she's gonna ride with me as far as the decisions that I make. And if I say, if I say, a duck is a truck, just be like, hook that motherfucker up, then,
Come
right? And
on
we
now,
gonna
why
ride,
you using that?
right? So this is like a real raw and first time thing.
Mhm.
So I want to start back at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Because you mentioned that with the Unfuck America tour, um, it was they decided they wanted to go with Dean and Parker, and then everybody else was added in as afterthoughts, right? I mean, it was, oh, we don't have black people, let's add these black men. Oh, we don't have black women, let's add these women, right? Let's throw these people in. I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do. I'm gonna read one inbox message that I got, and this inbox message was from Z, the organizer of the Unfuck America tour and the director from the National Ground Game, right? The person that, you know, was the mastermind behind all this. Hey Santana, I love your work. Thank you so much for educating the masses. I think blank, I'm not going to say the person's name, has probably already told you this, but I run a political organization that works on 200-ish races a year. I've worked with Dems that are elite establishments, and I've also worked for candidates outside of the party, like AOC. I love to chat with you in private about our organization's plan for the next few years and see if you'd be interested at all in helping us, and of course, how we can help you. Now, I left just a small portion out of this, and I did it on purpose, right? Because for people that know me and that watch my content, and Jess, you'll probably pick up on this, and it'll give it away. So let me read that first opening 2 sentences again with the piece that I left out. Hey, Santana, I love your work. Thank you and Erica so much for educating the masses. Jess, Erica and I haven't worked together in a while. Like we jump back and forth on each other panel. We do that, but we haven't. Erica hasn't been my co-host in a while.
Yeah.
Jess, this message was from November the 11th, 2024 at 10:04 a.m.
You just not saying it?
No, no, I'm not. Jess, I say that to say that Z reached out to me in November about working with her, working with National Ground Game, working on the concept, the idea of Unfuck America. So when people say, oh, they realized that they didn't have black people and they threw black people in, that's not true. That's not true. Now, the reason why I was not a part of it and it didn't progress is because I had so many other things going on and I was still trying to get my footing. I didn't feel comfortable with it. I didn't feel comfortable trying to take on something else when I wasn't sure as far as what's next, what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. So at that time, I couldn't do it. Right. So this was in November. Now, a couple of months later, fast forward, right? A lot of people know that, I'm friendly with a lot of different creators and all this other stuff. And I've been blessed enough to actually make connections across the spectrum, right? And with that being said, or let me actually go back to this. I'm not going to share the actual details of the message, but I will say that Z then reached out again to me on February the 5th. And the premise behind that message was talking about National Ground Game and talking about the special elections that were happening in Florida, right? And basically, she was saying that I'll pull this one line out. She said, would you be open to promoting this? I'm trying to get as many creators behind this as possible so we can take back the house before it's too late. Right. So she was talking about National Ground Game and talking about how she actually they were trying to prepare for the special election and give us an opportunity to take back the house. Right. Again, this was in February. So second time that she had reached out to me, the first time in November, second time in February, again, saying, hey, I would like to work with you. Right. I didn't see the message then, and it went by the wayside, right? So I didn't work with him, but she reached out then. She reached out again a third time, Jess. Now, the third time she reached out was March the 11th. And March the 11th, she reached out specifically for the Unfuck America tour.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the point that I made, like I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of connections and a lot of people that I associate with, but there are a few people that I actually call my friend who create content.
Mm-hmm.
And like I call you my friend, Jess.
Right.
Um, and I call Parker my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so
We
she
love
reached
Parker.
out to me. Yeah, Parker. Jess, I'll tell you this: Parker is the most genuine person that you
He
will
seems
ever
like
meet.
that. He seems like a sweetheart. He does seem genuine. He seems like he cares about the mission. The mission is important to him. And
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Jess, he's just as real as the way he is online is the way he is in person. He's so kind. He has such a massive heart.
Mm-hmm.
He's an actual caring person.
Mm-hmm.
And so she reached out to me and was like, hey, blah blah blah, can you get us in contact with Parker? And so I reached out to Parker and I let him know, like, hey, just an FYI, like this person reached out to me. I haven't vetted this, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like the full facts around it. I don't know if this is like, a good thing, bad thing, whatever. I wanted to let you know that someone's trying to get in contact with you. If you're interested, I will get you the information. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, sure, go ahead and pass the information on. And I did. And he said, we'll vet from there.
Mm-hmm.
And one person that's I'm friends with as well is Dean,
Mm-hmm.
and Parker. And of course, Parker and Dean are friends. And so it more from that point where Z was able to, go through the processes, whatever it was with Parker, and then go through the process of whatever it was with Dean, and immediately come back to me and was like, hey, Parker and Dean, they're on board. We still want you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know. I don't know. Because, unlike Parker and Dean, and unlike a lot of other young people in, the space, just not only do I have responsibilities, I got a whole wife.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
can't just make decisions without my wife signing off on
You're a
certain
smart
things.
man. Smart man.
Yeah.
Y'all
So
heard that? Clock it.
yeah, from that point, it was conversations with my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only um trying to explain to her what this is, what we're doing, how it
Mm-hmm.
works, what it looks like, making sure that she was comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with me actually doing this. And so from that point, it took a while, and I'm never going to pressure my wife. I trust her judgment. I trust her
Mm-hmm.
instincts. And until she said yes, I wasn't willing to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to your wife.
And exactly. And so by the time that she felt comfortable and she was like, okay, I have some ground rules, I have some parameters,
Mm-hmm.
these are the terms and conditions, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
By the time that she had made it to that point, there were a bunch of other people added to their going, right? Bunch of other names. So I've been rambling for a few minutes, so I'm going to stop there for a second, Jess, before I talk
Mm-hmm.
about anything else, and just say, now, knowing that versus
Mm-hmm.
what you said at the beginning versus
Mm-hmm.
what I just covered with you now, the receipts that I brought, what are your thoughts about around, how it was, oh, they started with Parker and Dean and then they start throwing black people in.
I think like when you watch a movie, you judge the movie on what the result is. We don't get to see the behind the scenes because sometimes if you see the
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, you won't go see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I think it's more important about what is portrayed to the masses more so than what's happening. Because even if there wasn't a you, and I know there are a lot of other creators, um, where are the others? Who are the others? You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And then even I think there may be a total of like 3 black women, right? Out of your 30?
Um, Erica
Becca?
Mermaid,
Becky,
and
maybe?
Becca. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
right. Out of the
Mm-hmm.
30, you had 3 black women.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know, Chris was advertising it, and then all of a sudden it was him and Mermaid. So she was going, and then when Erica's like, I guess I'm going to be on it, like a few days before, so
Mm-hmm.
it seemed very last minute to her. So even if she couldn't have made it, that's still two.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you said no, there's still where's the other representation
Mm-hmm.
that we have out of 30, you know. So it's really more so about what we see, because
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
everybody don't get the insight. Everybody don't get the privilege of watching the Culture and Chaos podcast with Santana and Jessica Simone and getting
Mm-hmm.
the behind the scenes information. Make sure you subscribe.
Yep.
They don't get that privilege. So it's you. Where are the others?
Yep. Yep.
That's how, and then I get that she did reach out. I mean, you Santana, I'd be reaching out to you too. You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
I don't know about all that,
Come on
Jess.
now. Come on now. You got, let me tell you something. One thing I'm gonna do is big up my friends because they are great.
Mhm.
Just where are the others?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what people were, because we don't get that privilege. So we only see what we see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, so let's speak about the others, right? Because again, this goes back into the sausage being made, right?
Mhm.
And the problem that I've had with this entire situation is um, when people make judgments, or they think that they actually know things when they don't know how it's
Mhm.
happening. Um, there are a lot of people that they reached out to,
Mhm.
and similar to the situation with myself, they were in talks with before they were announced. And so when it comes to who was announced, when they were announced, whatever, there are a lot of people that were either that took a long time to make a decision, or just said no, right?
Mhm.
And the one thing that I will kind of give everybody a peek behind the curtain and say is that it was never supposed to be 30 something people going,
Mhm. That was
right?
why and I think that's another reason why people thought it's unorganized. Like, how are you going to navigate this? How are you going to navigate 30 creators in
Hmm.
junction with college students who also probably do want to debate him, to talk to him? And then, like, how is that? How like how you navigate that? Like, how would that going to work out? But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, listen, Jess, this ended up being something. And when we said it was special, it ended up being special because people, there was a small handful of people that National Ground Game reached out to, but the overwhelming amount of people that were at it reached out to National Ground Game and said, I want to be a part of this.
Mhm.
So when it comes to the people that were involved and the people that were part of the representation, most people, it wasn't a thing where like, oh, we just have to get this person, we just have to get that person.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people. It was a lot of energy and excitement that was built,
Mhm.
and so people decided like, I want to be a part of this.
Mhm. Do you
Um,
think that, because some people are losing the plot, do you think that because it's Dean and Parker, people like, I want to get on it because that's an opportunity for me?
yeah,
And
yeah.
also, why do you think the people who said no said no?
So this is a conversation that I had with
And
my wife
again,
as
this
well.
is not solid. This is like what you think, just for people
Yeah,
listening.
yeah. This is just my opinion,
Yeah,
right? And opinion, like the great
everybody got one.
philosopher Young Jeezy once said, opinions like Escalade, everybody got one.
Yeah, come on now,
Uh,
black.
but with that being said, it's something that I talk to my wife about, because whenever I do anything, she always says, "What's the mission?" Right?
Yeah,
She wants to know what's the point, what's the
that's my
focus,
mom.
what's the outcome, right?
Mhm.
And so she's skeptical by nature, and so she said, like, do you think that everybody's trying to do what you're saying in genuine?
Mhm.
And I said, I don't think so, and I can't speak to other people. I
Mhm.
can't speak to what people think or believe or their true intentions or whatever. um so I would be naive to say that there might not have been someone who was only thinking, well, I'm going to put my name on this, and my name will be beside Dean and Parker's or other big names, and I'm going to get, shine or this or that or
Mhm.
whatever. Or somebody was like, oh, I'm going to get a trip to Texas because this is the first time going to Texas or whatever. I can't say
Mm-hmm.
that everyone's intentions were pure,
Mm-hmm.
but what I can say is that being there and being involved and interacting with everyone there, everyone busted their ass, Jess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if you talk about Parker and Dean, who were listed at the top of the card. It doesn't matter if you talk about people like Becca Day, who's another black woman, or if you talk about like Johnny, who is a gay man,
Mm-hmm.
or you talk about like Erica, who was added late or whatever. Every single person that was there busted their ass and did everything that they could possibly do in a team effort, despite every single narrative that came our way. Not once that we look at Parker and Dean and say, you white men. Not
Mm-hmm.
once did anyone say, well, you black people are doing the Jess, we were
Now that
a
I do
complete
agree.
unit.
You
Yeah.
could tell everybody was together. Everybody was for each. I think the most beautiful part about it is all of the creators being able to meet and meet each other, greet each other, spend some time. And we spent all this time on the live stream, so just to be able to do it in real life, I think that was one of the
Mhm.
best parts too. I think from watching from the outside looking in and seeing you guys build camaraderie, and I think it, tell me if I'm wrong, from within side, it seems like you guys enjoyed, finally meeting one another and just being together on one purpose and one mission. Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody was
no.
busting their ass. Let me tell you something. We was live, and people were doing the work. So I will say that I definitely, and I agree with you there. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, just let me ask you a genuine question,
Mhm.
right? Um have you ever had a situation where you can either say like it's a hero or someone that you've had a quote unquote parasocial relationship with, maybe it's someone that you've interacted with a lot online or even watched online,
Mhm.
and you got to meet that person. um if you have, can you tell me about that in that situation, like what happened and how did that work out?
I mean, everybody's different.
Mhm.
People that I've watched or people that watched me or I've just been on
That
video.
you watch someone that you had a idea in your head as far as like this is what this person is or this is what this person's like.
No, mm, not necessarily. I mean, I've had people who are like been in my lives before that I've met. Some I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Some like this motherfucker's crazy. And some we've built friendships that last till today. So everybody's a little bit different. That's what I would say. But none
Yeah.
that I've per se have watched and have met that I could think of.
Okay. I mean,
Different people that I've met that I've watched and admired, like, I'm not gonna say their name, but I've watched and I met them in person and they was kind of funny. And I'm like, bitch, I know you fucking lying.
mm,
Um,
that was the point that I was getting to,
yeah.
Jess. That was the point that I was getting to. Um, every single person
Who you think you
that
got, Chelsea Clinton? No, I'm just kidding.
exactly. But every single person that was there, um, they were who we thought they were.
Mhm.
Right? It wasn't a situation where you met someone, oh, I meet Johnny and he's not who he is online.
Mhm.
Johnny is Johnny.
Mhm.
Johnny was on the entire time. I laughed so much. You saw Johnny's passion, and I posted a video on my page
Mhm.
where Johnny's passion leaked through,
Mhm.
and he was on stage, but people don't know. Like, so
I
that
watched him too, and
morning,
you can feel his passion through the phone. So W
yeah,
Johnny.
yeah. When that morning, Johnny was like, "Okay, I'm gonna debate Charlie. I'm gonna
Mhm.
debate Charlie, and I want to debate Charlie on farming, right? Something
Mhm.
that's near and dear to him, and also, when it comes to food, a lack of food security. And so Johnny was like, "Can you help me? Can you?" And so Johnny and I sat down for about an hour,
Mhm.
running through sources, running through numbers, running through like debate scenarios and tactics. And I sat and I pushed Johnny for over an hour. And then people like Mermaid, like Jones, like Luke,
Mhm.
people saw what we were doing and drifted in and was like, hey, maybe you should think about this. Hey, this is this.
I love that.
But like one, everyone was there for each other, but two,
Mhm.
people are who they are and they were genuine. And that
Mhm.
was one of the best things that came out of this, is verifying that these people that I interact with on a daily basis online, that's who they are. Because
Mhm.
if they would have been fake, I wouldn't have been fucking with them anymore.
That part. That
Yeah.
part. And you could see that. You can see the camaraderie. That's why I say even the critique that people have, I think this is really important. I others or anybody, whatever critiques that they have, if they're especially if they're your friends, it's more so about, how they view the organization or how it's being viewed back to the masses.
Hmm.
They're not mad at you, they're not upset with you, and they're not side-eyeing you. If you feel like that, that could be a projection thing, and or a thing that maybe you feel. But I'm like, you, Erica, you guys know that one, I support you guys, and regardless of how I would feel or how it feels portrayed, that doesn't deter, the support. Not nobody's side on you because I can't. You know what we gonna do?
Yep.
Um, and then they can hire us for something, but we'll make it what it needs to be. And I feel like that's what it end up turning out to be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it ended up turning out to be.
So
Pretty what it was starting to turn into shit, start turning that bitch into a chocolate cake. Okay.
Jess, let's talk about the shit.
Yeah.
Right. So let me be frank.
Mhm.
Right. Um, there was a lot of people. Um, there was a lot of people that were specifically um, targeting the Unfuck America tour
Mhm.
and using the viewpoints that white men should not be leaders of any type of movement. They shouldn't be leaders of the left wing party. They shouldn't actually step up or do X, Y, or Z. Like, it was a whole thing. And so they specifically targeted Dean and Parker, right?
Mhm.
Because they were the people at the top of the ticket. And again, to be fair to them, they did not have that backstory that I just shared with you,
Mhm.
right?
But ain't white man been leading the DNC for a while though?
Listen,
Oh.
Jess, the thing that I need to know, right, is because correct me if I have it wrong, in which I was okay with this, I was on board, because first and foremost, we know, again, shout out to the 92%, but the black
Mhm.
women in America, they set the tone,
Mhm.
they set the tempo. But after this election, black women said that we're going to sit back,
Mhm.
we're going to kick up our feet, and you figure it out.
Mhm.
And so that's what it seemed like to me, right?
Mhm.
Because we talked about earlier in the podcast, right? Like, are we going to trust white people to actually do the thing that
Mhm.
they're going to say they're going to do? And now, in this instance, we have two white people who are trying to actually do something,
Mhm.
whether people disagree with, debating Charlie Kirk
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be. Like, people say, oh, you shouldn't be platforming Charlie Kirk. First and foremost, Charlie Kirk has his own
Mhm.
platform. We're not platforming Charlie
Mhm.
Kirk. That's not how this works. But they actually stepped up and said, we will do something. And so people say, oh, it shouldn't be them, but then also they should do something. Or like, it's like, do you want them to do something, or you do not want to? Do you want them to stand up
Right.
to racism and speak out against the patriarch, or do you not? Like, what are we talking about?
I like we were talking about earlier, it's a fine line, and I feel like I should be in PR sometimes because if Z allegedly went on this black girl panel to tell them like, hey, you don't need to be mad or whatever, and you don't know how to organize this, and you don't know this, you don't know how to do this, instead of getting what's that called? Instead of getting frustrated
Defensive.
or
Yep.
offended, I you could have just said, "Black women have been at the forefront of everything, and we want to give y'all a break, and we want to
Yep.
take it. We want to
Yep.
help out and take the reign." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And
Hmm.
I want everybody to know, just because we're not at the front doesn't mean that we're not doing what we do in different ways.
Hmm.
Everybody's not going to be on the street. Somebody's going to
Hmm.
need to be at the house cooking the meal. Somebody needs to be at this. Like, we can still protest. Like we said, we're withdrawing our dollars from the house. It don't necessarily look like going out there and getting water hose. Now,
Yep.
that would have been a great response for her to say. That would have
Yep.
been cleared up anything. But when people are commenting and saying that, She's like, you guys don't know how to organize. You don't know what I'm. Black women do know how to organize, which is
Mhm.
why they got on the phone and raised all that money for Kamala Harris. Like, you want to be
Yep.
respectful of the things that you're saying, or just
Yep.
kind of like bow out and talk to some people about it, maybe in private
Mhm.
conversation, or whatever.
So let me say this, Jess.
Mhm.
Specifically speaking to that,
Mhm.
I saw it all.
Yeah, because I'm like, I wasn't there. Well, that's why I let you know. That's why I say alleged, because I wasn't there.
Mhm.
And I looked for the video and I could not find it. So, but I did speak with somebody who else was there. And I
Just
also love.
just when I say I saw it all, I mean I watched 4 hours of the
Mhm.
live.
Mhm.
And I saw it all before it all happened, and no one knew because I never commented one word,
Mhm.
right? So this is what happened, Jess. I just so happened to be scrolling on the old TikToks,
Mhm.
and I saw someone who I followed that was live, and like I do, I scroll in and out of
Yeah.
different lives, and I see someone that I follow, and so I'll click on it and listen. So someone that I followed was on a panel.
Mhm.
And so I just so happened to click on the panel, and I saw the pictures of Parker and Dean and another creator on the background,
Mhm.
right? Talking about the Unfuck America tour, talking about should white men be like the leaders of any type of movement, blah, 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 blah. And so I saw that and I was like, let me stop and listen. And that kept me there for 4 hours.
Mhm.
And when I say I was one of about 62 people in the live,
Mhm.
and it went from about 62 people to like 800 something people,
Mhm.
I sat there and I
Because people
watched.
love chaos. I don't care what
Oh,
side you're on. Don't
oh,
underestimate how much people love chaos.
oh, Jess, you're right. But I sat there and I watched as people said certain things about Parker and Dean, people
Mhm.
said certain things about the Unfuck America tour,
Mhm.
people said a lot of different stuff.
Mhm.
And the one thing that I will say, and I love everyone that I have spent time with, and who I have actually, been worked on the Unfuck America tour, and who I've gotten close with. The
Mhm.
one thing that I will say is that every single person that joined that panel messed up.
Mhm.
There was no one who represented the Unfuck America tour that joined that panel
Mhm.
that came out in a better position than they went up.
Mhm.
And that's because just you cannot win a debate on public opinion.
Mhm.
You can't.
Mhm.
There's no way for you to win a debate on public opinion, no matter the facts, no matter the information. You cannot debate someone on their feelings and their thoughts. You can only speak to your position and you go from there. And for some people, nothing is ever good enough.
Mhm.
Right. And so with that being said, people came up onto the live and they tried to speak to what the Unfuck America tour is. They tried to speak to what assurances we were given. They tried to speak to the purpose behind what they were going to do. They tried to speak to the information that they had been given, and it was bits and pieces. Not only in the sense of certain people just didn't know certain things, but
Mhm.
also there was certain stuff that was not supposed to be shared. Like
Mhm.
just it was a security issue. It was a safety issue. They told us that at all points, we're going to have security. We're going to have, private, shuttle, private areas that we need to meet. Like we're going to be blocked off. Like we went to dinner, they shut down the whole restaurant. It was just us, right? And so they wanted to make sure that at all time our safety was in
Mhm.
mind. Um, so
Right, because I
certain
was like,
people,
"I'm gonna come support you." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know
yeah,
if you're gonna be able to get in." I'm like,
yeah,
"Nigga,
yeah, yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with the big man, tall
But you
one,
know what, Justin? So
tall
the one
milk."
thing that I do regret, and I regret not thinking that, like, because there were people that showed up and we vouched for them, and then they got
Right,
access. Yeah,
Hector.
like Breck Hector. Yeah, like they showed up. We was like, yeah,
Y'all
we know
should
them.
be
They're good.
Santana.
And then they got past the police and everything.
Mhm.
That was on me.
We coulda did a
But
podcast episode.
uh, but I say all that to say, even Z, the organizer,
Mhm.
when she got up on the panel. Um, first of all, when you're on a panel and it's 8 versus 1, I don't care what the topic is, you're not going to win. Not when they have mod powers, not when they have multiple people that's going back and forth and they have multiple points, whatever. And again, you're not going to win a debate on public opinion.
Mhm.
But with that being said, you can't be so offended that you let your mouth just run and not be conscious of what you're saying.
Mhm.
And when you let slip microaggressions,
Mhm.
or you say things that are not thought out,
Mhm.
your words have consequences and your words will be held against you.
Mhm.
And so the one point that I always make is like, we all have deconstruction that we need to do
Mhm.
in every sense of the word. It doesn't matter who you are, because there's something that you can deconstruct. And for me, on a daily basis, I try to deconstruct my privilege as being a man,
Mhm.
right? And certain things that I don't have to deal with, that women have to deal with, and that's a problem, right? And so for any white person to speak to, let alone black people, black women,
Mhm.
in any type of way that could be perceived as disrespect, or anything that could be perceived as racism, or hatred, or anything like that, even if you don't intend it that way, one, you need to work on deconstruction, but also two, intention only matters to the person that's doing the action, not the person that it happens to.
Mhm.
Um, so I say all that to say, um, no one who joined that panel that represented the Unfuck America tour did it justice, and that opened up the door to people who, in my opinion, were bad faith, Jess.
Mhm.
Right? Either it was people who, one, had an axe to grind, didn't like Parker and Dean, and they specifically wanted an opportunity to take shots at them, or two, someone who felt like they should have been involved and they weren't involved, and
Mhm.
so they wanted to actually, throw shade onto the entire event, or three, someone who actually just needed content. Because Jess, you called it out earlier. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. People love controversy,
Mhm.
and so people know that, like, if I make a video about this, if I hold a live about this, like, it's gonna draw numbers, it's gonna draw people, because everybody's talking about it. It's controversial. So I think that what happened is there were some bad faith actors who took valid points, who took valid criticisms, and they used it to their own personal benefit.
Mhm.
Were their points made? Were they right? Yes.
Mhm.
Were their intentions pure? I cannot say yes.
Mhm.
But that goes back to the point that I made earlier. I can't say what the intentions were for the people who actually joined the tour. All
Mhm.
I can say is that I think that there were a lot of bad faith actors that took what we were doing and decided to shit on it for one reason or another. And at the end of the day, we still came out and did something that I am super proud of. I am super proud of everyone who went on this tour with us, who put their time, energy, and effort, who left their families, who left their homes, who stood out in that Texas heat, who sweated, who talked to students, who walked around, passed out flyers, who like embraced people who came there to support us. I am so proud of each and every person, and I'm proud that I did it.
And I'm proud of you too.
Thank you, Jess.
Yeah, I am. I'm proud of y'all. Two things I want to say. One, anytime you move emotionally, you're guaranteed to lose something. So
Mhm.
just sometimes step back, take a breath, count to 3. I mean 10, maybe even 30,
One,
like
two,
I
three.
say.
3, 2, 1.
And then you're right, 8v1. And then 2, 8v1 you're not going to win. And I think that even 2, as it turned into, we didn't want to be, 30v1 at the thing, but I think that it's an opportunity for the left to continue to grow, take what did happen and how do you flourish that? How do we go to different schools and talk to the people that we need to talk to? How do the women get to talk to the women? How do, black people get to talk to black people? Because hey, if y'all got somebody out there, I got some ideas, okay? But we don't. Some of them are already in a cult, and they're gonna come. We just need to build our own shit, and they will come. What you guys did at the end, that is what you can take everywhere.
Yeah.
You guys are the tour, and then set up a way that people know who you guys are. Who are these amazing people that are debating? What is your background? How can I follow you? How can you help me? If you're in business, I'm in business. How does Donald Trump affect business? If you're a gynecologist, you're studying to nursing, how do I talk to other women, and how can I help you guys and innovate something in the future? Because fuck Kurt, these kids are who are voting with us, and these are the kids that brains are still developing, and we can add the beauty of life and progression and our intent to commune, upon them, and we can do it in our own way, which I think, and then end up taking all this shit. People, they
Yeah.
just stop showing up.
Yeah, and Jess, I'm telling you, one of the most beautiful things to come out of this is the energy and the
Mhm.
fact that so many people want to do so much more. And to your point, we've started talking about ideas like that, right?
Mhm.
We've started talking about like what's next, what does it look like? Not only what's next, but like how do we improve? Because we would be remiss like if we said that, oh, this is perfect. It wasn't perfect,
Mhm.
right? and
Mhm.
and not only the chaos around
Yes.
that,
I think
right?
that also too, people wanted honesty. We
Yeah,
can't want to hold them accountable if we're not holding each other accountable. They're like,
yeah,
"Oh, it's perfect. It's this," and then like, "Well,
yeah,
it seems unorganized." It's very organized. Like, let's be
mm,
honest. You know,
yeah,
and that's what I can always appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest about it. We got to hold each other accountable before we want to hold them accountable. We have to be the example and shows what that looks like. We're not
yeah,
perfect. Not me. Not you. Not DNC. Not the RNC. None of that.
yeah. Just, I mean, there's a ton of opportunities and a ton of things that will be fixed and have
Mhm.
to be fixed in
Mhm.
order for anyone to put their name on any type of dotted lines to move forward. And the one thing that I will say is that there seems to be a willingness to fix the things that were wrong,
Mhm.
which is important.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
and the one thing that I'll leave off as well, um, is I'm so proud of the people that found their voice
Mhm.
during this process. Like I would give a special shout out to like Mermaid. I feel like
Mhm.
seeing her before the tour to where she is today, she has grown massively.
Same. I even said that on the live that night, like watching her. I was in her live. She had some of the best service. At first, a
Hmm.
little choppy, but her service was on point after that.
Hmm.
And then when she leaving, like, I think I found my passion. This is my purpose. I enjoy doing this. I want to help the people. And just watching her throughout and talking to people, I said on my life, like, that is what these things are all about. That's how you turn it into the beauty. And like I said, what we gonna do is what we gonna do. We're gonna
What
do it
we
every single time.
gonna do?
And
Exactly.
it was beautiful to watch for real.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many people that came out of this that I think were better than before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but just there's so many people who fuck it, they can just stay mad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because the one thing that I will say, and I'll leave this point right, is
Why do you think they're
as
mad?
a they're mad for one reason or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, I don't give a fuck, Jess. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just gonna be serious, I don't care about their opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the one thing that I'll leave this note. As a black man,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need any other person, especially someone that is not a black person, speaking for the black community.
Mm-hmm.
You have not been elected. You have not been appointed. You are not our champions. And there are a shit ton of Black creators that were involved in this. And the problem that I have, Jess, is that there are a lot of people who decided that they were going to champion for Black people, didn't come and talk to the Black people. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with anyone saying that I'm going to do the work, but at the same time saying I don't need to confer or listen to the people that I'm doing the work for. There is no way that I can say that I want to be an advocate for women, but not consult women when I start to talk about what's going on with them or champion things that's going on with them, or saying that women need this, women should
I
have
would
this.
say W Santana and watching the lives, there was a time when they were talking about abortion and we're like, we have women that can speak on it. We have women that can speak on it. Nobody's like listening. Nobody's passing no light to the women to speak on the abortion of their body. And I could see you saying, hey, we have women who could speak on this particular topic. So thank you for that as well. W Santana's, you guys.
No, listen, it's super important. It's super important that we listen to the people that we say that we're being advocates for. It's important. I could never do that. And anyone who is saying that they're, standing for the marginalized community while not talking to or actually receiving real feedback from the marginalized community, you're being performative. I don't care what you think you're doing, you're being performative. I said it. And that's me being nice, Jess.
This whole thing was me being nice. But yeah, it's all about what's next. How do you learn from it? How do you move forward? How do you move forward?
Yep.
That's the thing. And I think we can do it. We
Yep.
can do all the shit. Because we didn't
Yep. Well, Jess, I know this has been a long one, but I thought it was
sorry, you
worth
guys.
it.
But I'm pretty sure you enjoy it.
Yeah. It's been good. It's been so good. Listen, Jess, we have to remind people that even though we're getting ready to get up out of here, make sure that you are interacting, right? We started the podcast off with reading out Chris' comment, right? Remember that the comment of the week is selected every single week, and we will read that comment and shout it out again. Massive W's in the chat for Chris. And so, guys, don't miss your opportunity to actually, be a part of the Culture and Chaos podcast. Just before we hit this outro, you got anything else for the people?
Yeah. War on tariffs. Donald Trump's tariffs. Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. Listen, it's 1-1. It's 1-1. Lakers in 5 is still alive. Lakers in 5 is still
but it
alive.
Ain't. It's gonna. I'm really Warriors info. But anyways, also to you guys, put in the comments. Tell us, what does it mean? What does Unfuck America mean to you? What does Unfuck America mean to you?
Not only that, tell us something that you would like to see. If we're going to keep doing this. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead,
What would you
Jess.
like to see moving forward? Tell us what you would like to see moving forward. Because the feedback is definitely prominent. And it's important that, we listen, all of us. Them, theys, me's, gays, yes, all of us. Okay.
Yeah. Jess, we got a massive opportunity in front of us. And I don't know if you fuck with Hamilton, but I'm not throwing away my shot.
What?
Yeah, you don't know Hamilton. It's all good. You need to go listen to Hamilton, Jess.
I know to be
Alexander Hamilton.
I know to be or to not to be.
That's Romeo and Juliet, Jess.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, this is not Shakespeare. This is Hamilton.
That's what I said. I don't know Hamilton. I know Shakespeare.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Culture and Chaos podcast. Oh, my bad.
It's all good. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Culture and Chaos podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and join the conversation on all the social medias. Jess, now
yes. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and don't let the chaos dim the fucking culture. Bye bye.
Peace.